I mean, sometimes, a shooter gonna shoot, even if you don't know what he's doing.
Warning, D.C. is a town full of monuments, but some of them hide in plain sight. This week's target: the first airmail marker, built to commemorate the first time mail was ever delivered by plane in the U.S. Or not delivered, depending on how you look at it.
But I've never noticed this thing. But I love it. I love the story behind it.
It's a story straight out of a movie script that I'll get into in a second.
If you are doing a report or a series of reports on obscure monuments, it doesn't get much more obscure than this.
Located in West Potomac Park, right along the river, along the flight path many aircraft take to land at Reagan National, you might not even know you were passing by history.
You just walk along the path and you just miss it without even knowing it's here.
I just walked right past it. I thought it was a rock.
From the street, it looks like a small boulder, standing around 1.5 feet tall. It's only until you get out of the car and walk around that you see the plaque facing the Potomac.
Show me some of the features of the monument right here. What are we looking at?
It's a pretty short discussion.
Oh yeah, you might remember National Park Service Ranger Mike Litterst. We brought him back to break this one down too.
This is arguably no different than the first email message being transmitted.
Back in the early 1900s, sending mail by plane was seen as the technological achievement of the day. So on May 15th, 1918, a young Army pilot, Lieutenant George Boyle, fresh out of flight school I should add, was appointed to deliver the first batch of plane mail from D.C. to Philly.
The president was here. President Woodrow Wilson was here. The Postmaster General, of course. The Assistant Secretary of the Navy, a guy by the name of Franklin Roosevelt, was here.
So, 2 presidents, thousands of spectators, and 1 standard flight up the East Coast. What could go wrong?
They load up, the pilot climbs in, turn the ignition, crank the propeller, and nothing happens.
A false alarm, according to historical record, just no gas. A quick fix, right? Mike says Lieutenant Boyle got back into the plane, and this time, lift off. Crowds cheered as he circled for dramatic effect and then took off, heading southeast. Wait.
Of course, Philadelphia is to the north.
Like the one time you need Waze, right?
After a time flying in circles, the plane had to be set down for an emergency landing, just 25 miles from takeoff in a field near Waldorf, Maryland. But that's still not the worst part.
Soft field, gets stuck, and the plane flips over.
Oh my God.
So the first airmail delivery technically never made it.
I wonder what it was. You think it was like a pair of shoes?
By the way, I should add, Boyle survived unhurt in the crash landing, and the mail made it to Philly the next day by plane.
You are that pilot. You fail to make your first delivery and they still build you a monument. How you feeling?
I'm feeling great because I tried.
So, all's well that ends well, right? Oh no, it gets so much better.
I feel like you got to pass some degree of geography, though, to become a pilot, no?
I would hope so.
George Boyle, believe it or not, was given another chance to deliver the mail a couple days later. Same mission, same destination. The future son-in-law of a commerce commissioner, nepotism was alive and well.
For them to see, like, maybe he's not fully equipped to do this, and we'll give him another chance.
Fool me once, Boyle, fool me twice. Mike says North versus South got the best of our young pilot again on his second attempt.
He winds up at Cape Charles, Virginia, which is about as far as you can go before you hit the open Atlantic.
How did this guy graduate flight school?
He buys gas from a local farmer, gets back in the air, manages to find his way almost to Philadelphia, and crashes again on a golf course on the outskirts of the city.
Can you imagine you're on your 9th inning and then, or like what, 9th hole?
Yeah.
And then you see Buddy just land a plane in front of you? Like, they ain't gonna believe that, bro.
After surviving crash number 2, George Boyle was discharged from the Army amid his father-in-law's protests to, give him a third chance at cheating death.
Maybe he was just really a funny guy. You know what I mean?
The story should end here. Trust me, I don't want to do any more editing, but the icing on the cake to this tale of this obscure monument will leave you wondering why a movie script has not been made already.
You couldn't make this stuff up.
To commemorate the occasion, the U.S. Postal Service made up stamps before the flight was even planned. On the stamp, an inverted Jenny, also known as an upside-down plane.
And they are among the most sought after and most expensive American stamps today. Recent one sold on auction for over $1.5 million.
The serial number on the stamp's plane is even the same one on the plane George Boyle flew. Safe to say, if you're gonna flip a plane, don't do it before the flight.
Somebody should have seen that coming.
Although this incredible story may not have been the launch the country was initially hoping for, it's important to remember.
When you think about what U.S. Postal Service and airmail delivery would become. All of that happens and starts right here.
So next time you're out walking along the water in Southwest by the monuments, take a second to appreciate this often forgotten but spectacularly wacky milestone to aviation, innovation, and hard landings.
There's so much history in this area within a few square miles.
Flying through more obscure monuments on this journey, I'm Matt Koufax.
I think that's what makes DC different. You know what I mean? It's the little nuances that it has.
WTOP News.